Welcome into the ESPN FC studio. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Craig Burley, Stuart Robson, Stevie Nicol and Shaqiri Islam. A little later on in the show, I'll be asking the boys whether or not this game between Belgium and England actually matters. It might be a short conversation, but we'll start by looking ahead, shall we, to the World Cup final on Sunday. It is, of course, France against Croatia. France go into this game as favourites, according to the bookies. Croatia very much the underdogs, coming in at 2-1. They were 30-1 at the start of the tournament. Before I chat to the boys about this, let's welcome World Cup winner Frank Leboeuf into the show. Frank, what's the feeling like in France going into this game?
Well, I think all the French people, they really think that 20 years after us winning the World Cup, you know, it could be nice to celebrate with another one. Personally, I'm not that confident because after when all teams played their first game, I really thought that Croatia could win the World Cup. So it's going to be hard. They all seem to be very tired, like they played the first half in almost 1 hour against England, but they had the resources to get back into the game and win that game in extra time. Of course, they played more than a game on top of what France did, and France had 1 day off more than the Croatians. So, of course, they are the favorite. They are younger than the Croatian squad, but you will have to prove it. And what Croatia proved that is they never give up. So it's going to be very, very hard. But of course, it would be nice if France can win it again. That would be very, very nice.
Frank, what's going on with you in this tournament? We had you on before the Uruguay match. You're like, oh, I don't think France are going to get through. They strolled past Uruguay. They were excellent against Belgium. They come into this Croatia game and you think you aren't giving them as much props as I thought that you would be, considering that they've been the best team in this tournament.
Yes, you can say that. Even if not everything is perfect, our leader, who is Griezmann, is not the best player. The best player is N'Golo Kante, and you can add Kylian Mbappe, but also Hugo Lloris, and the two central defenders have been pretty good. So it's more the squad who amazes me. They found the resources to get better and better. But it's we have to find a conclusion after the World Cup. Meaning that before, having the possession of the ball was telling you that you could win the game. Now it seems to be that you have to counterattack to win the game, to be more vertical, to have maybe less the ball, but be more creative in the space way. So it's different now. France is doing very well on that. It seems to be they let the opponent having the ball and they counterattack very well, especially with somebody like Kylian Mbappe. It's why I think they have a very good chance to win against Croatia, because Croatia will get the ball and France will only play in counterattack.
I hope the rest of the French population are a bit more hopeful than my old colleague.
Well,
I tell you what, maybe part of the nerves is the fact that everybody thought it was going to be a walk in the park in the final at the Euros against Portugal. And they came a cropper, but I would hope they'd learned their lesson from that. I think they have. The difference between France and England is quite some in terms of quality. So that's what Croatia will face. The French, I think, will use the pace better. The French, I don't think, will be dominated in the middle of the park, particularly the way England were dominated in the second half. Pogba's really finding his form during this tournament and he's really looking confident. Kante, everybody's talking about, still doing a great job. Mandzukic isn't going to run away from any of the centre-halves. The two French full-backs have been great in the competition. Unless there's 5 or 6 of a real bad day at the office, I think Croatia will be competitive. Of course they are, but I just cannot see this French team throwing away this fantastic opportunity.
There was one player that Frank didn't mention there, and that's the centre-forward. And that's the big worry for France. Olivier Giroud in the last couple of games has been next to hopeless. I said at the beginning of the tournament, he's good when balls come in the box, but his hold-up play, his general play hasn't been good enough. And if they are trying to play on the counter-attack, and it does go up to Olivier Giroud, he's got to be able to hold up so others can join in. He hasn't done that so far in the last couple of games. He will need to improve, because England had a problem when Harry Kane couldn't get hold of it. When they went that little bit longer, Harry Kane couldn't get hold of it, and then Croatia dominated possession. Giroud has to play much better than he's done in the last couple of games.
There's no way, though, the French will...
Oh, they won't go...
I was amazed at the amount of long balls England were playing.
They're not frightened to go long to Giroud. Then at times they've gone from back to front.
Yeah, not as much as what England were doing.
No, they were going from the keeper always to the front.
The thing is, though, without Olivier Giroud, and we saw this in the Australia game, the French were simply awful. Antoine Griezmann, who Frank describes as the most important player for the French national team, I thought just looked out of position. He didn't seem at all comfortable. So make what you like of Giroud as an individual. I think France as a team play better with him on the park. Yes, you're hoping for more of a contribution from him, but when you get the input from Griezmann playing in his preferred position, Mbappe continuing to go as he has been, Paul Pogba, who's come on stride just during the course of this tournament, you can make up for Giroud and what he's lacked to give to the French team so far.
As we said before, I think they won the World Cup in '98 without a really top-class striker. Maybe they can do it again.
I hope Frank's giving it the old double bluff here.
Of course he is.
And I hope he doesn't know something when he's talking about France playing on the counter-attack. I mean, the reason England should have beaten Croatia is because the Croatians had that fatigue factor. And because they started the game so brightly, had England taken the chances, they could have been 2 or 3 up. So if France are going to sit back against a tired Croatian side, then they're asking for trouble. They've got to get out and take advantage of the physical strength factor that they have.
Frank, Craig mentioned it, didn't he? It was only a couple of summers ago that we were looking ahead to a France against Portugal European final. We thought, oh, France are going to win this easily. How much of that disappointment still carries into this game 2 years on?
Not that much. We of course, a different competition. Of course, you know, we were very sad after the loss of that game and the loss of that tournament. But I think it didn't affect the population. It might affect the squad, or even Didier Deschamps, if they lose again in the final. So they know that they had a chance to win the European Championship and they didn't get it, and they have a chance to win the World Cup. And if they don't get it, I think that would be the end of many players in that squad. I'm talking about Lloris, maybe Giroud, maybe even Pogba. We don't know what's gonna, or maybe Griezmann as well. They have to win it. They know that all the population is behind them. That we want to have another party. It's been too long now. It's been 20 years, the new generation who didn't know what it was to see his best team winning the World Cup, they want to have the party. So it's we're all backing them up, but they have to do it, otherwise they're going to be smashed back, I think.
What's your prediction, Frank? I don't know where you're going to go with this.
No, well, I will that time, hopefully I'm going to say the right score, the right prognostic. I will say 2-0 for France. And because you all love him, I will say goal from Giroud.
I don't know, but all of us love him, Frank.
I mean, take that, Rob.
Yeah, obviously.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, his goal-scoring record for France is excellent.
It's good. Yeah.
All right, he's not. He kind of doesn't sit with the rest of the squad, right? They're all, you know, Mbappe and Griezmann and you know, Pogba and Kante and Matuidi, Tolisso, all these players that can ball-playing French players with that fantastic technique. He's like a fish out of water, isn't he? But he's a good foil. He's been a good foil for Griezmann over the years, and the young Kylian Mbappe.
If you get balls in wide areas, you get crosses into the box, Giroud is an excellent striker. But in this tournament so far, he hasn't done the things he's been in the side to do, and that's hold up the play, link up with the other players, get it into Mbappe, knock it, and then Mbappe can make the next forward run. I don't think he's played well enough, and that may just cause them a problem. Because we've talked about the rest of the players. The midfield is great. They've defended really well. I know you don't like the two centre-halves as a combination, but they've done lots of good things throughout this tournament.
Right, you're both with me tomorrow, aren't you, Jens?
Yes.
You're both off tomorrow? So let's get some predictions. First off, Stevie.
I'm going with Frank 2-0.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think France are going to get ahead. They won't do what England did. They will get that second goal, and then they will shut up shop because they've shown that they can do that.
France 1-0. I think you see a similar pattern to this game that you saw against Belgium. Will dominate, but be very careful at the back, not to allow Croatia too much. But still control the game, even at 1-0. That's where I'm going. I don't see much different.
All right, Shaq.
Okay.
That's where he's
Are we clear?
Who scores, by the way?
1-0, he said.
1-0.
No, who?
Who scores?
Yeah.
Griezmann.
Yes. There we go. We're going to have to wait a little longer, aren't we, for the next World Cup, as FIFA today confirmed the dates of the tournament in Qatar. It will be on November 21st when it all starts. The final will be on December 18th. Frank, it's good that we've got you on because, of course, you played in Qatar. You know what it's like in those conditions. What will be the weather like, and what will be like for the players November, December time?
It will be absolutely perfect. In November, December, in the morning or at night, you will have around 60, 65 degrees. And during the day, something like 70, 75. So it's a perfect weather to play football. No wind, no rain, just sunny days and a perfect weather. So it's going to be great. And on top of it, I think the players will be in a better shape because it's only half season. So it might be a big turn of events for the future World Cups, I think.
I've heard a lot of negatives. It's true, isn't it? The players will be in better shape in that sense. Should it be a better tournament?
Well, they're going to have to be, because if it's reduced days, as I've said, to 28 days, you know, how does that affect a team like Croatia who have had 3 penalty shootouts? If you've got less time, then that's going to hurt you. Well, it'd be incredible about the Halibut walk, never mind run.
They should cut out extra time. That's the one thing that I think if you do a lot of things for FIFA. Yeah. Extra time should be cut out. Come on, you make the suggestion.
No, I'm not cutting out extra time. Sure.
And Shaq's on the IFAB board.
Oh,
Let's just make that clear. Extra time's not going anywhere.
No, it's not going anywhere.
It's going to be weird, isn't it, though? No World Cup in the summer?
I don't like it. I think they sold it as a summer World Cup. We all knew they were going to probably try and move it. So not only have they done that, the weather will be perfect, but not only have they shifted it to an untraditional time of year, breaking up all the leagues. They've reduced the time frame as well, so you're absolutely cramming it in. I just don't like it.
Well, of course, we've got 4.5 years to look ahead to the start of that World Cup. For a lot more on this one and its conclusion, be sure to go over to the website that gives you everything you need to know ahead of Sunday's kickoff. Kante, this is from the Catalan newspapers, that could be going to Barcelona. Any chance of that?
I mean, from what I understand, Barcelona, of course, also targeting Adrien Rabiot from Paris Saint-Germain. And the thinking is, because Paris Saint-Germain don't want to let Rabiot go, but are eyeing up Kante, this is one of the situations where they all get involved. But by the same token, I think Chelsea view Kante as somebody really, really valuable. Jorginho's in, but they want Kante alongside him, a little bit like what they had with Jorginho and Allen back at Napoli, though Kante is a slightly different player. So I think this is a weird one. I don't think Kante is a good fit at Barcelona. The main risk for Chelsea, I think, is Paris Saint-Germain. But of course, then you get into potential financial fair play issues, which I know Craig loves hearing about, so I won't go there.
Wouldn't necessarily fit at Barcelona, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious, because Kante, if he goes, is going to play, and that means that Busquets is out. I mean, you talk about 2 completely different types of players. So just for that very reason, Barcelona as a team would be hugely upset. They're a team that have been in a flow and a certain rhythm for a decade. And all of a sudden, if they take Busquets out and stick Kante in there, that changes that whole dynamic.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean, Paulinho's now gone back to China. You got N'Golo Kante coming in. I think Kante greases any team. Give him his work rate. Very comfortable on the ball. All right, maybe not as good on the ball as I say here, Busquets, but good enough. And I think makes his Barcelona team better. Left up to me, absolutely yes. I go after.
I mean, he's never going to be able to pass the ball at Busquets, but Busquets is struggling to get around the pitch now and cover and break play up. And Barcelona, not dominating as they once were, needs somebody that can break the play up and help a defence out. That's been a little weak, particularly down the middle. So I kind of see it. I don't think Busquets' place in the Barcelona team is as nailed down as it once was.
So tomorrow sees the third-place game between Belgium and England. The bookies have got Belgium as favourites. Remember, these 2 teams met in the group stages. Belgium won that game 1-0, though it was very much a reserve match. Gareth Southgate's come out and said that he'll make few changes. One of the big talking points is the golden boot, of course. Harry Kane, as it stands, with 6 goals. Lukaku 4, Griezmann 3. Talk to me from a player's perspective going into this game, Steve.
I want to go home. As soon as that final whistle went the other day and you're not in the final, Well, the only thing you want to do is get back, get your bag, get on the plane and go home. You don't want to play in a nothing game. And the only one person that does want to play in it is Harry Kane.
Right.
And Lukaku, beg your pardon, too. Because it's important for strikers to get goals, and it's important that in years to come, they're going to look back and they're going to have this on their resume. So for those two, this is big. For everybody else, get me home quick.
Do you agree?
I agree, but a lot of the third and fourth playoffs over the recent years have been entertaining games. Lots of goals have been scored. I was at the Brasilia for the Brazil versus Holland game last time round, and Holland was saying, well, the Dutch were saying they didn't really want to play. It was a waste of time. They came out, they played the same team, and they played brilliantly, and they played as tough as they had in previous games. So in the end, it was a good game. So we have seen some good games in these third and fourth playoffs, but as a player, you don't really want to be playing it.
It's a classic, you know, because nobody wants to play it. And then you start the game, and then somebody does something, goes on amazing, and everybody goes, hold on a minute. It's like that professionalism and that
kicks it.
Gets it.
And you don't want to go home with another loss.
No,
you've lost in the semi-final. You don't want another loss because it makes the World Cup not seem so good.
That lasts 10 minutes, and then you get back into the old. And then somebody else will do something else on their team, and then they'll start. That's probably why those games were kind of decent to watch.
Right.
Because it would be.
So what we need is someone to kick someone early on in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And then bang, it comes alive.
That happened in the 2010 playoff, Uruguay-Germany, because Uruguay started topping the Germans. I thought, well, it doesn't matter to them. It's the third, fourth game. That's just the way kind of they approached that tournament and many tournaments anyway. But look, I mean, Gareth Southgate spent the last few days trying to just biff off the fact that are they having a parade or not, and all that nonsense. Yeah, I mean, it's like we're having a parade. I mean, oh come on. Parade. It's been a good tournament, but parades. I think the only thing is Martinez will change. Martinez will change his team. Southgate will change his team. I mean, who's going to? Maybe some of these boys like maybe Butland will get a game in goals. Maybe Cahill will come in for a centre half. Rashford might get a start. Loftus-Cheek might play again. So I think there could be 5 or 6 changes. And for guys that have been with the squad for probably 5 or 6 weeks now, if you add the build up to the tournament as well. I think we're going to see guys getting a run out. And
not just that, hopefully players take the attitude that for the first time in this tournament, it doesn't really matter if we win or lose. You can play with a certain amount of freedom, and as a result, maybe that's why you get some of the good games that we've seen in the past. But, I mean, that spell in between losing the semi-final and this game had to be torture for the players on so many levels. I agree. I'd prefer just to go home. But if you have to be there and you have to play the game,
nobody really remembers the third and fourth playoff. Who wins that game?
Well, except you.
I was there. I can't remember the Uruguay-Germany game from 8 years ago.
Except you.
Do you want some predictions? Do you have some predictions?
I don't care. I'm not going to even watch
2-0. 2-0
You're not going to watch the game?
No, I'm not. I'm going to be playing with the grandkids.
No, you're not. You're going to still be in your bed. It's 10 o'clock in the morning here. There's no way you'll be up. England. I'm going to go for an England.
England will have the better attitude. They'll win the game by a couple of goals to 1.
OK, meanwhile, of course, between now and the end of the month, it's going to go transfer bonkers. And Neymar, of course, has been heavily linked to a move to Real Madrid. The club, just a couple of hours ago, released this statement in the face of the constant reports linking PSG's Neymar to our club, Real Madrid, which to clarify that the club has no intention of making any offer for the player. Let's bring Gab Marcotti into the conversation from Russia. Gab, that's it then. Done, dusted. We don't have to talk about Neymar going to Real Madrid and replacing Cristiano Ronaldo for the rest of the year.
Yeah, the problem is, you know, when the facts change, opinions change. It's an odd statement to put out. It's very unlike Real Madrid in the past. I don't really see what they gain from it, because if they don't want Neymar, they can simply not pursue him and let the papers go and write whatever they want. If it's not true, it's not true. I think what a more plausible explanation is they want to stay in the loop with Neymar should the time come when Neymar wants to go. Neymar's people have been very explicit. He wants to stay at Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain have said he's not for sale. You know, they can try to go and do things behind the scenes or whatever, but the fact is, if Neymar doesn't want to move, he's not going to move. So I think this is maybe some sort of play where Real Madrid hope to maybe set up a situation where PSG say, whether because of financial fair play, whether because of developments elsewhere, or maybe because Neymar himself says, I want to move, changes his mind where they'll be ready. But they don't want to be seen to be the ones pushing him in that direction.
Inevitably, a lot of players being linked to Real Madrid at the moment, Gab. One in particular, Eden Hazard. There's talk of a £150 million bid being prepared. There's a feeling that this is going to happen, or am I wrong?
Well, look, right now, Eden Hazard has all the leverage vis-a-vis his contract with Chelsea. So clearly, it's a real priority for the club to get him locked in, to give him the sense, listen, stay here, you're going to be important, we're going to win things. The really tricky thing right now, though, is if you're Eden Hazard, who at Chelsea can you be talking to reassure you? Remember, Eden Hazard is still here in Russia, will be for another 48 hours. Sarri will have just arrived. He probably doesn't know him for Adam, although you expect Dries Mertens might have put in a good word. Marina Granovskaya can be in touch with his agent, but clearly that's not the same thing. We're at the stage now where I think Chelsea need to really sell Eden Hazard on their idea and re-sign him. If he doesn't extend his deal, then they may well be better off selling him to Real Madrid.
It's difficult to foresee that conversation happening and it being positive. What do you say to Eden Hazard to keep him at Chelsea and not go to Real Madrid?
Very difficult one, because the new coach come in, as Gab said, he wouldn't know him just yet. He hasn't got much time to make the signings or make the changes that he wants to make. I think they would say Sarri is a coach that has done a magnificent job with Napoli. We're going to try and get the best players we possibly can. We're going to start afresh. You didn't like the last coach. You didn't like the coach before. This is a coach you might like, and he could make you a top-class player, the world's best player, maybe. So that's, I think, the only way they can sell it to him.
If you're an Eden Hazard, you want to go, don't you?
Time's now. The time's right for him to go now. I think if he wants to really gravitate to the next level, and he can, then there's no coach or there's no honour or there's no amount of money for new transfers is going to keep me from going to a club like Real Madrid, which might be a one-off, because if they do want him and he doesn't go, they might go down the line, just go and sign Mbappe down the line and one or two other players, and the chance is gone. Chelsea are not in this clear-cut position as they were 3, 4, 5 years ago. Things are very cloudy there, particularly financially, and with the ownership having its problems. I think it's absolutely the right time for him to go, and I think he would be a perfect fit at Real Madrid.
Well, that's the next question. Right fit for Madrid, in your opinion?
I think so. I think you've seen a side of Eden Hazard, and you've seen a maturity from him over the last 2 to 4 years, that I think he fits into a club like Real Madrid almost seamlessly. Now, he's not going to fill the boots of Cristiano Ronaldo. We have to accept that. But he is one of the premier talents in world football, and I think makes Real Madrid better.
No question. No question. For him personally, you go to Real Madrid. I would say, though, the only way he stays at Chelsea, if that speech comes from Abramovich about what they're going to do and what trophies, right. Not Stu, but Abramovich. That's the only way he stays.
We've got Stuart Robson on the phone.
I could twist his arm. I could twist his arm to sign a contract. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Let's talk about a deal that was done. It is official. Shaqiri is a Liverpool player. Stevie?
Oh, he was heard groaning. Groaning he was.
Shaqiri's got ability. And that's not the thing that worries me. What worries me is his attitude. You know, this is a guy who, to me, looks as though it's all about him. And if there's one thing you can do, is you can look at this Liverpool team right now under Klopp, and you see a chemistry, and there's nobody on that team that you think, well, he's only interested in him. So this guy's going to have a huge attitude change, because he's coming off the bench. He ain't starting.
And he has to see someone who presses the ball. Can you see Shaqiri pressing the ball for Klopp? Well, I just can't see it.
It's great to have a guy.
But he hasn't got the athleticism to do it.
It's great to have a guy like that coming off the bench. We complain that they don't have a big enough squad with the quality.
Right.
But if you've got a guy coming off the bench with a bad attitude, then it kind of negates having the quality, doesn't it?
But he's at Liverpool. Surely that attitude will change, in the sense that he was thinking, well, I got relegated last season.
I can only tell you what I see from...
He wasn't very good on the bench at Bayern Munich. Nope. When he came off the bench at Bayern Munich, he didn't have enough games. He was frustrated, and that's why he moved on. So it could be the same.
I understand him moving on from Bayern Munich. He was frustrated. I think clearly you saw his talent, but believed that he needed to be the star man. And I think that's where the problem started to set in. When to get the best out of Shaqiri, you have to build a team around him. You have to make him the star man and build that team around him. And that's not going to happen at Liverpool. And so I'm with Stevie. I don't, as much a talent as he is, as good as he can be, coming off of the bench and fitting in is not what Shaqiri is about.
You saw him with Switzerland. when they were defending for their lives at times, he was up the front, standing up the front, waiting. Because obviously, it's like, you know,
and he's a star man in that Swiss team, and he's a star man there.
There's no way Klopp sold this to him as on a one-to-one meeting as you're going to play every week. There's no way. No. Because in doing that and putting him on the bench, which is probably where he'll be, he is definitely going to lose him. So he's definitely sold it to him as you'll play now and again, but you're not going to play every week. But it's a squad game. Champions League, all the cup competitions.
Listen, you know what it's like as a player. You've just got relegated with Stoke. Yeah. Liverpool comes in, you're all great. Yes, no, I'll do that. Right. And then what? 3-4 months in, when you're still sitting in your back.
You might have a long way. The Salah plays in the position that he normally plays in.
So, aye.
That's it then, the end of the show. Thank you very much to Stevie, to Shaka, to Craig and to Robbo. Until tomorrow, goodbye. Hello, welcome to Extra Time.
Funny you never get Adrian to do any of that.
Right, let's get on with these things, shall we?
What are you talking about?
Can I ask a question first?
Yeah. Go on, then, what?
So a good friend of mine lives in Argentina. I was chatting to him about the England game, and he saw a clip.
You've got a friend in Argentina?
And he said...
Diego. Diego, is it?
And he said to me, who's the bald guy? And I went, Stuart Robson. He went, oh my goodness, he looks different without hair. And he used to watch you with his granddad playing for Coventry.
Oh, did he?
And he's saying he saw the reddest red card ever from you in the game.
I've never been sent off for Coventry.
Really?
Yes. Never sent off for Coventry. Sent off once for Arsenal with the worst tackle you'll ever see.
Really?
Yeah. Graham Roberts. You remember him, Graham Roberts?
Yeah, played with him.
He was an animal. Nasty bit of work, Graham
I'll tell you what, that was a great story.
You don't really have a friend in Argentina, do you?
I don't have any friends.
A friend in Argentina who's a liar.
Well, maybe it was Arsenal against Coventry. Would it have been?
No.
All right.
Tottenham he was playing for.
It's done.
I've got a friend in Argentina.
Maybe it was your friend in Peru.
I've got a friend in Buenos Aires, and he once saw you being sent off.
Buenos Aires.
And I was sent off once in the career.
Where's Buenos Aires?
Colombia.
This isn't your friend at all, is it?
Right. Well, that was a good story. I'm glad I brought that up.
Story, yeah.
Thanks for that, Joel. Brilliant. Okay.
Or Joel from Argentina.
Joel Richards.
Okay, Joel Richards.
Steve Nicol is a staunch believer that Liverpool need to buy a new keeper. While I can't deny Karius Mignolet made mistakes that cost the team points, I'm curious as to why the goalkeeper coach never gets criticised.
You don't know who he is.
Well, it depends on who brings the goalkeepers in.
Right.
If the goalkeeper coach has a large input into who they sign, then the goalkeeper coach deserves to be criticised. But the way it works today, like a lot of managers, they're just given players by a director of football. So, listen, you can... if a guy doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. You can be the greatest coach in the world, but if he's got hands like butter, then it doesn't matter what you do.
How much coaching do you have to do just in the end, just say to him, catch the ball? No, I know there's more. I know there's more to it than that.
Keep looking at me.
Well, you were a goalkeeper.
You're a goalkeeper, allegedly.
You must have had different goalkeeper coaches.
Yeah.
Good ones and bad ones. Who was the best?
My favourite, Terry Geno at.
Big Terry.
Big Terry.
Terry was really good.
The worst?
I worked with Terry.
Come on, the worst. Come on,
never had any bad ones. Never.
Do you think...
W.
Did you work with McCloskey?
Yeah.
Ludek McCloskey.
Yeah,
good goalkeeper.
Very good.
Not Shaka, Ludek.
No, yeah, he was good.
Do you think France should play Dembele instead of Giroud in the finals? Giroud's finishes have been really poor throughout the tournament.
No.
He won't.
No, I think he's got to stay with the system that he's been using the last few games. They started with Dembele in the first game against Australia.
He was
didn't
awful.
work for them. He didn't play well. It didn't work for them, so they've changed the system. Giroud hasn't played well, but I still think they stick with him.
Cristiano Ronaldo is once again making a big move and testing himself in a different league, showing he isn't afraid of leaving his comfort zone, unlike Lionel Messi. Do you agree?
No. Lionel Messi stays at Barcelona because he's loved it. Why should he go and play anywhere else? He's playing in one of the best teams in the world. He enjoys playing for them. He scored loads of goals. They love him. He's not in the comfort zone, is he?
He could go to Coventry, couldn't he? Get
He
a red
could.
card.
Yeah.
The reddest red card.
The reddest
red card.
I thought he was going to say the reddest red face or something like
Joel
that.
in Argentina will be watching.
Joel.
Sorry?
Joel.
I said Joel.
You said Joe.
Oh, then I said Joel.
As in Billy Joel.
Uptown girl.
Is that what he, by the way,
Yes.
is that what he contacted you for?
No, we were talking about the England game.
Was he as mad as you in that England game? Mad Eyes.
What do you guys think of... what's it? This is a new mascot for someone. Have we got it? Let's take a look at this mascot. Wow.
A mascot?
Maras, isn't it, under that?
Nose is not big enough. Wouldn't get his head
That
in.
looks like an extra from a Star Wars movie. The wolf. Is that what it is, a werewolf?
It's horrible,
What is
isn't
it?
It's
I
horrible.
hope
I mean,
not.
actually,
'Cause
what is it?
I hope not, because it's probably ate that person behind it.
Dear.
Do we know what it is?
I don't...
It's a werewolf, I just decided.
well, it's
That's going to scare kids, isn't it?
That's
that?
on Choco Wolf, look.
I've got no idea what we're talking
Not the
about.
friendliest looking mascot ever, is it?
No.
Oh,
It's
Choco.
going to frighten any sort of kid.
He's got a Twitter. Choco Wolf.
Right, good. It's been a strong extra time.
Oh, you
Started
made
with
it. You
Joel,
definitely
didn't it?
made it.
Well, I did.
Well, you started
Yeah, right,
I have ruined it.
Horrible
Ruined
story.
it all. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid story.
You should have. See, lazy journalism. You could have checked that.
Could have checked
Oh,
if you
you
had
asked the
mates.
question.
He didn't want to give
Hang on,
the story.
he is a lazy journalist, we know that.
You could have checked if you had
He
mates.
didn't want to give the story away because it was such a cracker. So we kept it under wraps.
Apologies, everyone, for that.
Some mates you haven't you?
Yeah, good. ESPN FC.
Punters.
It's back tomorrow.
Yeah, but he was wearing an England top as well.
Painted his face.
Punter for Argentina.
George's cross.